Okay. So we'll start with a new topic, that is arrays. Arrays in C. Okay. So let's try to understand first the concept of arrays and what do you mean by arrays, because this is very important concept. And once we learn this, then this will be lifetime will be useful for all of you. So for example, see what happens. Suppose we have to create variable, let's say of roll number. Okay, so in your class, let's say 68 students are there or 70 students are there. So if I want to create for roll number the variables so that I can store all these 70 students roll number, what I'll have to do, I'll have to create 70 variables, right? Int, let's say roll number, uh, I can say 1 is equal to 1, let's say int roll number 2 is equal to 2, right? Like this, int roll number 70 equal to 70, right? Like this. Now this roll number may not be the same like 123, right? It may be anything else. But what is the idea, what I want to explain is that if same kind of data I want to store, right, and if there are lots of data, then that many number of variables we will have to create, right? Now one thing is very clear, that these data are only talking about the roll number, okay, and all these data are integers, so they are of the same type. Same type means they are the integer type only, right? And they are also talking about one entity only, that is the roll number, right? So is there any way that we can declare only one variable, okay, in place of the 70 variable? We can declare only one variable, right, and which can hold all these 70 values. Okay, so no need to create the 70 variables. We can just create only one variable, and which will going to store all the 70 values, whether there is any way which will allow us to do this particular thing. So yes, the answer is yes. And what is that way? That is arrays. So with the help of arrays, okay, remember this, with the help of arrays, we can store same type of data, okay, same type of data. So not, array is what? It's a collection of similar types of similar types of data data collection or group of similar type of data. Okay, so whether the definition is clear and the concept is understood to all of you, array is what? It's a collection of similar type of data elements. So if I say array of integer, okay, let's take the first case, array of integers. So this will be only having the values like 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is the array of integers. If array of floats, I can have like this array of floats, right? 2.5, 1, 1.5, okay, 2.3, like this array of floats. So one thing you remember, that in array we cannot have this similar type of data elements. We should have only one same similar type of data element. For example, array of characters array of characters. So here we can have like this, let's say letter A, letter C, okay, D, Z. So all these are what? Array of characters. So I don't have any integer or float value in this. Only the array of characters will be there. So what is the main purpose of array? So that I can store similar kind of data elements together, or group of elements together, in only one single variable. Okay, in one single variable. So I don't have to create that many number of variables first of all. Second thing, it will have the collection of only homogeneous data. Okay, one more word is there, that is homogeneous collection of data elements. Homogeneous collection of data elements. Data elements. Homogeneous collection of data elements. Remember this. This is homogeneous collection of data elements, not heterogeneous collection of data elements. Okay. Now the next thing is, what is the syntax of this array, how we can create and how we can access the elements from this particular arrays. Okay. So let's say suppose I want to create array of 5 integer. So I'll say, I mean, you can declare any variable name. Then I am saying, let's say array of 5. Okay. So I can hold 5 elements inside this particular array. Now for initialization, if you want to do the initialization, so syntax is what? Syntax is data type, okay, data type, array name, and then in square bracket you can mention the size. Okay, this is the syntax. Data type, that means, for example, see here, data type I mentioned as integer because I want to create integer type of array. So data type I have mentioned integer. The name of the array is what? Over here, array variable itself. Okay, and the size which I mentioned, the square bracket, that is 5. So it can hold 5 elements inside the array. Now, as far as initialization is concerned, for example, suppose I want to initialize the values in this particular line only. So I can say like this, int a, let's say a5. So this particular variable can hold 5 values, and I can declare like this. Okay. So in curly brace, you can initialize the values in the same line where you declare the array variable, and you hold, it can hold what? Multiple values over there. So this is what the syntax. Now suppose I want to access this particular element. Okay, I want to access this particular element. So how I can access? So whenever you will create the array, first task will be to store elements inside the array, and second task is what? To retrieve elements from the array. So you must be aware of these two tasks related to array, how we can insert elements inside the array, and then how we can retrieve elements from the array. Now here in the same line I have done, okay, so in the same line I have done the initialization. So this particular entire array A is got filled by these elements in the same line. Now remember, whenever you want to retrieve the value, you will have to use subscript notation. Now what this subscript notation means? In the square bracket, you need to mention the index of that particular element. Okay, index of that particular element. For example, I want this particular element, so always remember array index will start from this particular element, from the 0. So this element will be 1, this element index number is 2, this element index number is 3, this element index number is 4. So if I want to access 3 from this particular array, I'll have to write array name and the index of that particular element, that is 2. Okay. So if I say like this, I'll get this 3 element. Let's say suppose I want to access this 6. So I'll write a of 4. So in this way I can access the element. Let's say suppose I'm declaring an array. Like this, int a 5 1 2. Okay, 1 2. Now size is 5, and okay, one more thing over here. Now this index number, if you are talking about, there are elements. How many elements are there? As you can see, 1 2 3 4 5. There are 5 elements, and index number will always go from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so n is what? 5. Index number will go from 0 to 4. Remember this, keep this in mind. index number will start from 0. It will go till n minus 1. Now, if I am saying I want to access a of 5, a of 5. So what will happen? Now we know that there are 5 elements, but the index of the elements will start from 0. So from 0 to 4, only valid elements are there. Now if I try to access a of 5, that means I am going beyond the limit of this particular array. Now I may have any garbage value. Okay, so this particular operation a of 5 will give me any garbage value. So remember this, any garbage value. Okay, because I am going out of bound of this particular array. Now, since this is a C language, so it will never going to give you any kind of warning. Okay, it will not going to give you any error that you are trying to access the element beyond the limit of or beyond the boundary of this array. If this is a Java language or Python or any other high level language, there you will get the error that you are trying to access the element which is beyond the boundary of this particular array. But in C language, it assumes that you are a smart programmer. Okay, as a smart programmer, you are very well capable of taking the decisions and all. So it will never going to warn you. As a good programmer, you from your side should be able to judge. You should from your side should be able to see that you are not accessing any elements beyond the array size. Okay, and all these things are designed so that the language will be faster, right? Otherwise, let's say suppose I am trying to access the a of 5 and it will try to do all the checking and everything that it's going beyond the boundary or not, then it becomes a little bit slower, right? And the C language is very very fast, and Java and all are got designed for safety purposes also. So they supposed to, their main motto is to provide the safety and security. So that's why they keep on checking this kind of stuff, and in this particular process they also become little bit more slower, right? So that is the, I mean, basics of all those languages. Anyway, you remember that even if you give a of 5, there is no element, but this will give you the answer, right? This will give you any garbage value. So from your side you need to be clear, and from your side you need to be need to see at during the programming that you are not going to access any element beyond the limit. Okay. Now coming to this particular point, suppose I have declared int a of 5, right? Int a of 5, and um, and I'm trying to give only 2 elements during the initialization. So what about, so this is what a of 0, right? A of 0, and this is a of 1. What about a of 2, a of 3, right? A of 4, these 3 elements. So if array is not completed, then the rest of the other elements will be initialized by 0. Okay, by default it will be initialized by 0. So remember this. Okay, by default it will be initialized by 0. Okay. So now I hope all of you must understand the concept of array. Why we declare the array? Because if we don't declare the array, then if there are any real kind of problem, right, it will have the same kind of variable values. Okay, but there will be multiple values of that. Let's say the roll number of the student, so and name of the student, right? So basically it will have all the names only, all the string data, or the roll number will have only roll number, date of birth will have only date of birth, right? So where I want many values to get stored but of the same type, there I can avoid creating multiple variables. Okay, so many variables, I can just create only one single variable, and in that I can, in the square bracket, I can specify the size, that is how many we want, and then based on that we can initialize and we can store the elements and we can retrieve the elements, right? So no need to create that many number of elements. Okay, is there any doubt in this, anybody? Otherwise we can move ahead and I'll show you the examples. So if you have any doubt, please ask me in this particular explanation. I am audible to all of you, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if there is no doubt, let's go to the first very basic program, and there I will demonstrate how to create the array first of all, okay, and then how we can store the elements inside the array, then how we can retrieve the elements we can display on the screen. So very simple example, just I want that everybody should get hold of the concept, and then we can move ahead with the complex problems. So write the first question, that is, write a program to store, let's say, first I'm giving five elements inside the array, and display it on the screen. Display it on the screen. Okay, this is a very simple problem which I have given. We have to store five elements inside the array, and then we have to display it on the screen. Let's go to the compiler. So what I'll do over here, I'll say int a of 5, okay, int a of 5. Let's say I'm doing initialization right over here only in the same line. So I'll say 4, 2, 1, 3, and 5, or let's say 6. Okay, and this should be initialized where? In the curly brace. No quotes, because this is integer values. Yeah. My array got initialized, and this array is having 5 elements. Now what? Suppose I want to display printf first element. Then I'll say %d, right? %d and a of 0, right? Which will give me the first element. Then let's say I want to display second element. So my second element will be a of 1, right? A of 1. And my third element will be a of 2. Let's say a of 3, my fourth element. This is my fifth element. So index number will be what? 4. Okay. Let's run this. Yeah, I missed this bracket. Okay. Let's run this. So 4, 2, 1, 3, 6, right? So here I have displayed 4, 2, 1, 3, and 6, the elements of this particular array. Now it's like, so this is a very simple program where I've stored 5 elements inside the array, and I try to display it with the index number. Let's say suppose there are 100 elements, then whether I will write 100 times this printf, okay? Do you think that I will going to do that? No, right? So what I'll do, I'll write one for loop which will repeat this particular printf statement, and it will going to print all the 5 elements. So let me show you this one. I'll just comment this particular part. What I'll do, I'll declare one I variable for looping, and I'll say over here for I is equal to 0, okay, because the index number will start from 0. So don't forget, whenever you are operating with the arrays, right, you must start with I equal to 0. So I equal to 0, I less than 5. Why I less than 5? Because 0 to 4, so 5 elements will be there, right? I less than 5, I plus plus, and what I want to display printf all the array elements. So I'll say %d, I'll give one gap, okay, I want to display in the same line, and I'll say a of I. So just see over here, first time I value will be 0, it will go over here because 0 will be less than 5, condition satisfied. It will go over here and it will display a of 0 nothing but 4. Then it will leave one space because we have given one space. After that, I will be incremented by 1 and it will check the condition, because the first part, that is the initialization part, will be executed only once during the entry of the loop, and after that subsequent step it will never be executed, only the condition will be checked and increment decrement part will be executed. So when the I will become 1, it will check whether 1 is less than 5. Yes, the condition is true. It will go inside and it will display this particular printf statement where %d and space, I mean, so %d, it will display a of 1. A of 1 is nothing but what, 2. And then it will leave one blank space, right? It will keep on displaying like this. It will keep on looping through the all the array elements. And so be careful while specifying this particular condition, right? If you'll say equal to 5, then it will going to display a 5 also, but I told you that it will be a garbage value, right? Okay, so let's see this. If you see here, I have displayed all the array elements, right, by using this for loop. So this is the way to display the array elements. Please remember this. Now I'll teach you the another way where we can ask from, because this is 5 elements, right? If user wants 10 elements, then what will happen? So we must provide a way, right? It will going to ask, enter the number of elements first, then we will store that, and that many number of the elements we will ask from the user, and that we will going to display it on the screen, right? So I am sure this particular example is clear to all of you. Any doubt in this, all of you? Is this clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, explain the for loop again, okay? Okay. Listen here. Why I have written for loop? Because I want to display all the elements, not with this kind of printf statements. If there are 100 statements, I will have to write 100 times the same printf, right? So you know that what is the task of the loops, right? Whenever there is a repetitive task, whenever there is a same set of things which we have to repeat multiple times, then definitely we will going to apply the loops over there, right? So here I am just displaying a printf statement and I want to display the array elements, right? Where only thing which is varying, that is I value, right? So there I can declare a of I, and I can just repeat the same printf statement with different values of I. So I am applying a for loop, and my loop is starting from I equal to 0, right? And 0 is the first index number of this particular array. I know that the index number of the array starts from 0, and then the total number of elements over here is what, 5, right? So n minus 1, that is 4, 5 minus 1, 4. So the index numbers are valid index numbers are from 0 to 4. And that's why if you see my I start from 0, and how many times I'm moving this particular I less than 5. So I will move till 4 times. That means 0 to 4, it will try to access all the elements. And in the printf statement, I am saying %d a of I, right? So first time I value will be 0, second time I value will be 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. When I will become 5, so 5 will not be less than 5, and there the loop will break. So this particular loop will be valid till I is less than equal to 4, right? So this is how we can write the loop. Now, what we will do, we will just simply declare the array and we will ask the number of elements from the user, and we will also going to ask the all those elements, right? So everything we will do from the users. Okay, we'll be asking from the users. So what I'll do for this one, I'll just, okay, now first of all, I don't know how many elements the user may tell to enter, right? So from my side, I'll just take a of 100, let's say. Okay, and I'm assuming that the user will not going to tell me that enter 200 elements, right? So from my side, I've made the arrangement for 100 elements. See, whenever in the array, okay, one very important concept. Let me explain you. So when I'm saying int a of 5, okay, so what actually happening behind the scene? So when I'm saying int a of I, whenever I say int x, then what happens, right? So compiler says what is the type of x? What is the type of x? The type of x is what? Integer. So the compiler will immediately make the arrangement of 2 bytes in the memory. Okay, 2 bytes in the memory, and it will give the name as what? X. This might be some address location, let's say 4000, right? And whatever values later will be given to this particular x variable, it will be stored over here. So let's say I'm saying x is equal to 10, then 10 will be stored at this particular location. So the idea is whenever we declare any variable, it will tell the compiler that it is which kind of variable, so that it can create that much space. Okay, that much space will be reserved. So similarly, if I write this particular statement int a of 5, so this is an integer array of 5 elements, right? One elements require 2 bytes, one elements require 2 bytes, so 5 elements will require 10 bytes. Okay, 10 bytes. So compiler will see this particular statement and it will allocate 10 bytes of consecutive space in the memory. Okay, 10 bytes of consecutive space in the memory. This will be continuous. Okay, this wherever it will find a space, but for these 10 elements, it will allocate continuous memory location. Okay, so remember this one. And so let's say if this is at the address of 400, the first element, second element will be plus 2 bytes. So next element will be 4002, next element will be 4004, this will be 4006, right? Like this. So 2 bytes, and it will be continuous memory allocation. So array is also called as what? Array is what? Array is also contiguous memory locations, and it stores the similar kind of or homogeneous data elements at those contiguous memory locations. Okay, so let's go there. Now what I'll do, I have declared a of 100. Okay, so you can write first question, you can write the question like this. Write a program, write a program to store n elements inside the array, and display it on the screen, on the screen. Okay, 10 elements. So let's do this. I'll declare one n variable, and I'll ask from the user printf enter the number of elements, okay, enter the number of elements. Now I'll scanf, so I'll write %d, ampersand n. Okay, so inside n I am storing whatever number of elements the user is entering, right? Let's say user will enter 10, so inside 10 I'll get 10 value. Okay, now what I'll do, I have to store 10, I mean whatever in the n, that many number of values inside my array. So I'll write a for loop, and this for loop will be for what? For storing elements inside array. For I equal to 0, right? Because index number start from 0. I less than n, right? I less than n, whatever value is there inside this n, I plus plus. Printf /n to give next line. Okay, it will go to the next line. Then I'm saying enter %d, enter %d, and this Kunal like this, and here I'll say like this, I plus 1. Okay, I plus 1. So it's like I'm displaying on the screen that enter first element. Okay, I'll enter this element. Okay, I'll write like this. So it will display on the screen that when the I value will be 0, it will say that enter first element, enter second element, enter third element. It's just for displaying purpose to the user, right? Because users are dumb; they don't know about these softwares and all, right? We as a programmer, we understand about the software. So from our side, we should provide such message that user should be able to understand it properly. Okay, and user should not. If you just try to display anything on the screen, then user will not understand what input he will go into. He must provide. So we have to provide some user-friendly messages so that the user can understand properly. So that's what I'm displaying on the screen. That enter element 1. So user will going to understand that first number is asking, and the user will enter the first element. The moment the user will going to enter the element, what we supposed to do? We supposed to store inside the array, and which is our array? This is our array, right? A of 100. So let's try to store scanf %d ampersand a of I. Okay, just write ampersand a of I. See, normally whenever you store any value inside your variable, you say ampersand x, right? But here at different location we want to store, right, in every for loop step. So that's why I'm saying ampersand a of I. Okay. Is there any doubt in this particular step for storing the values from the user, right? Similarly, now I'll write the for loop to display on the screen. So before that, I can give the message that printf array elements are okay. And if you want, you can put over here also /n, right? Array elements are, and before this we can just apply the loop for. So this loop is for, I'll just write the comment for displaying on the screen. Okay. I'll write for I equal to 0, I less than what? N, right? I plus plus, and in this try to print all the elements. Printf %d, one space a of I, right? The message I have already displayed on the screen, the array elements are, and then below I'll apply the loop and I'll try to display all the elements in this way, okay, by leaving one gap, one space gap. Okay, let's see. This was my previous program. Okay, I deleted that. Yeah, scanf. Yeah, this semicolon I missed. Okay, let's run this. Enter the number of elements. So enter the number of elements, let's say 10. Okay. So this 10 value, where it will going to store? See, this particular message is being displayed on the screen. Enter the number of elements. So when I'm entering 10, it will store inside this my n variable. 10, oh, I will have to clear again. Let's run it again. 10, enter one element. Okay, you can write this. Okay, I'm not liking this also, so I'll just clear this. We'll write in this way. We'll put this person D here. Okay, let's run this. So I'm entering train, enter element 1. Okay, so either we understand this. Now let's try to enter 5, enter element 2, 4. Sometimes connection goes, and then let me run again. Let's try to enter 5 elements only. Enter element 1, 2, the last element 9. Again run. I think some problem is there. Whether I'm audible, my connection is there. Yeah. Five, three, 4, 2. Now it has displayed. Let's see here array elements are, because I displayed this particular line after storing this. Before printing, I just display printf array elements are. It's showing over here array elements are, and then I just display all the elements with one space. So it has displayed me all the elements. Okay. So I hope this program is clear, and whatever I have written, you will be able to. You understood all this entire code, and whenever I'll give any particular problem of this particular type, you will be able to do. Is there any doubt in this? Please ask me. So slowly now I'll increase the complexity. Okay. So if you understood, now what we will do, we will take n numbers from the user and we will store inside the array, and then we will try to find out the average of all the numbers, right? Average of all the numbers. Okay. So let's write the problem question first. So in the same question here, I'll modify, write a program to store an element inside the array and display average. Okay. Average of, write a program to store n values inside the array and display average of all the values on the screen. Okay. So in short, let's say suppose we are entering 10 elements, so we will have to find out the average of all those elements and we have to display there. So you know that if there are 3 elements are there, let's say A, B and C, right? If we want to find the average or the mean, average or the mean, so what we will have to do, we have to do first of all the summation of all these 3 elements. So what is the formula for mean or average? The summation of all the elements divided by the number of elements. Okay, so remember this, summation of all the elements, and divided by number of elements, divided by number of elements. So that means a plus b plus c divided by how many numbers are there? Three numbers, a, b, c, divided by 3. Remember this. Now this mean or average may come in float, right, in fraction, because whenever you will divide by the number of elements. This may not be, I mean, we may come across the fractional values. So what we will do, we will declare the average or the mean variable as a float. Okay, this one we will declare as a float. So let's do this particular program. Now if you see here, all the program I have already written, right? What only I need to do, because this particular program will ask n numbers from the users and it will display on the screen. Okay, so I'll leave that program as it is. Only thing I supposed to determine the average, so I'll first declare over here sum, so that I can do the sum equal to 0. I'm initializing sum equal to 0. Then I'll declare one float variable as average. Okay, float variable as average. Now what I'll do one trick during the entering, okay, or storing values inside the array. There only I know that one element user will enter, okay, and I will going to store inside the array. At that particular point only I do the summation also of the all the elements. The moment one element will come, I'll add inside my sum variable. So I'm saying sum is equal to sum plus sum is initialized by 0, so 0 plus a of I. So the moment any new particular element will come, at the same time I will also add inside my sum variable, right? So summation I have done very quietly, right, during the entering the elements only. And what I need to do, I need to find out the average. So after the scanning of all the elements, I'll do what? Average equal to divided by sum divided by number of elements, and number of elements is what? N, right? Number of elements is what? N. So I got my average, right? And let's say here I am displaying the array elements, and after this we can say that printf average of average of all the elements is percent %f, right? Because float I have declared. So for float, percent %f, and I'm seeing over here average. Okay, so I have displayed the average. Let's see whether we are getting a proper output or not. Enter the number of elements. So I'll enter 5. Enter element 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 0. Average of all the elements. So whether it's correct, just add them. 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6 plus 4, 10. 10 divided by 5, that will be 2. Okay, let's run one more time. Sorry, let's take 4 elements. 2, 3, 4, 1. Got stub. 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay, now take 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 3, 10. 10, okay, and divided by 10 divided by 4. So 10 divided by 4, whether answer is right, it's displaying average of all the elements at 2.0. Can anybody tell me what the problem I have done? What is the bug in my program? Can anybody tell me? See, I hope my problem is clear, right? I've entered this 2, 1, 3, 4, okay, and so the number of elements is what, 4, right? So, and the summation is what, 4 plus 3, 7 plus 3 is 10, 10 divided by 4, right? So ideally I should get 2.5, but I am getting 2. So can anybody tell me what could be the bug in my program, where I've done any mistake? Sorry. Yeah. So can anybody tell me? Just 1 minute. Lot of wind over there. One. Yeah. Yeah. So please, anybody can answer. I mean, it's very simple if you just think. Okay. Maybe the variable sum is integer type and average is float. Okay. Then average is float. Then it must come in float, right?
Sir, can you show the code once more?
Yeah. 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 Yes, check. My integer is some variable is integer, average float is, I mean, average is float. And this is my code.
Sir, average equals to in bracket float
So
sum
here I've
minus
written average float percentage
on line number 25.
25. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Put float. Float should come there in bracket.
Okay. मैंने float किया. Let's run. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.5. Okay. So अभी देखो. Very good. You have given the answer. Now see what was the problem actually. When I was trying to divide this sum by n, right? Since sum was integer and this n is also integer, okay? Before writing this float, the sum is integer, n is also integer, right? Even though at the left hand side I am having float, but right hand side the division is integer, right? If this is sum is integer, n is also integer. So compiler will not going to understand that it will have to divide in float, okay? Compiler will understand this is the integer division and it will get the integer value only. So fractional values it will going to ignore, right? And that's why in the average we were having that 2 in place of 2.5. So whenever this kind of situation is there, you must need to convert, I mean you must need to tell the compiler that this is not a simple integer division, it's a float division, right? So either you do this one, I mean you can just tell that you need to convert into float, right? Or simply what you can do, you can make any number, okay, as a float, right? For example, this sum you can multiply by 1.0. Now compiler will understand this is what a float number because we are multiplying sum with 1.0, and then you will divide and you will get the answer, right? Because one number will become float and then it will do the float calculation. Otherwise, if both the numbers are integer, then the compiler will think that this is what integer division and the answer will not come. So remember this particular thing. Okay, so whether now you understood this program, all of you? So this is clear. We can do another thing, right? So we have determined the I mean the average number, right? And then what we can do now, we can do some of the searching thing or the sorting things, right? So for example, let's say suppose 5 elements are there, and in that 5 elements, let's say suppose we want to find out any particular element whether that is present in that array or not, right? So we can do that particular stuff. So I'll just do what? I'll remove this code. So I'll give the statement. What is my program? My program is now write a program to store n elements in the array. Take x as another element and determine whether x is present inside the array or not. Okay, if it is present, then also display location of that particular element. Also display location of that element. I hope this program is clear to you. That let's say suppose I am having one array, and in this I am having the elements like 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then I will take one more element, x is equal to, let's say, 3. Now I will check whether this 3 is present inside this array or not, right? If this x is present, then I must also tell at the end that at which location I got this particular element, right? Now there is a difference between location and index number. Okay, index number. So index number, if it is asked, it will always start from 0, right? So if you are telling me to tell the, I mean, if you are telling the index number, then this is what as 0th index number, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So at third index number, this element is there, right? At third index number. But if you're telling the location, then this is the first location. This is what? First location. This is second location. This is third location. And this is fourth location, right? So at fourth location I got. But the index number is what? 3. Right? So if you are displaying I value, that will give you the index number. But if you'll display I plus 1, this will give you the location number. Okay, this will give you the location number. Now what trick I can do, what algorithm I can apply over here to just search whether the element is present inside the array or not. So I can do one sequential search. It's like I'm having all these elements in my bag, right? And one by one I will remove the elements from the bag, and in the second hand I'll be holding my x element. Okay, so let's say I'm having one bag, right? And in this all these elements are there, right? So if I can display these numbers only, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? What I'll do, in the x I'm having 3, I'll pick one element from here and I'll check with this x. I'll try to match whether this is equal to x or not, right? If this is equal to x, then immediately I'll stop my loop. I'll break my loop. I'll record the index number, and then I can display the location. And I can also say that the element is present inside this particular bag, right? Or the array. Till till how long I will do? Till from the first element till the end of the array. I'll go on searching. I'll pick one element from the bag. I'll take with that particular X element. If the element is present, I'll tell the location, right? I'll record the I value. If by chance, if the element is not found from the first index number till the last, and if my loop breaks because of the condition, right, which I have written over there, I mean till less than n, that particular condition. So if by itself loop breaks, that means I have not found the element, right? If I have not found the element, and so when will be the case, when the loop will break by itself, when I value will reach to n. Okay, when I value will reach to n, because my condition will be what? Till I less than n, I'll apply the loop. My loop will move. But when I will become n, then at that time the loop will break by itself. That means the number which is there inside the x, that particular number is not there inside the array, right? So in that case, we can tell to the user that element is not present inside the array. So I hope this is clear to all of you. And mind you that in this particular program, we are just telling the user the first occurrence of the element. Okay, first occurrence of the element. First occurrence of the element. This means what? Let's say there is a possibility that these three may also be there in the array in the further places, right? But I'm just concentrating on the whether that element is present inside the array or not. If it is present, immediately I'll break my loop and I will just tell the first occurrence of that particular element. So wherever it will occur, that only location number I will try to display on the screen, right? So I'm restricting my program till over here, and then maybe in the next program we can write and we can display all the subsequent location wherever this three will occur. I will try to display all the location, and even I can count how many times that particular element appears inside my this array. Okay, so let's see this particular program. In this division, I hope all are from EXEC, right? Or many are there from the Comms or IT also.
Yes, sir, we are mixed.
Mixed, okay, okay. So see, I try to explain from very basic level, from the low level, so that every student can understand. But even if that, I mean, there is nothing harm in asking, right? If you're not understanding anything, and still if you're having the problem in understanding, right, you can anytime you can contact me. Let's say if 5, 10 people are there, they take the remedial lecture for them separately so that they can understand. My basic motto, my basic aim is you should, I mean, see, if you'll understand, definitely you will score, but that's up to you, right? But each and every student must understand this programming, and each and every student must learn. That is my main aim, and I'm just thinking about all the students, not one or two students, right? So for me, that is important that all the students must learn. So whenever we will go in the subsequent, I mean, in the next year, in the second year, third year, we will always remember that sir has given his effort and he has taught so well that we still remember this language, right? So that is my main aim, because this is the base and this is the basic once you learn, and then in the further ahead of the years you will be able to learn from yourself, because this language is required. So if anybody has any problem, let's say 4, 5 people, right, even one student is there, then also I'll try to clear his doubt. And when I'll check my paper, right, of this particular UT, then also I'll come to know that what is the status. But till now I have not checked. Maybe in the next week I'll try to check, because the university papers are already left of the BE and all, so that's I'm checking. Anyway, but from your side, if you're having any difficulty, you can always contact me. So I'm not understanding anything, the programming, and can you please explain us separately? Then definitely I will try to remove whatever the hindrances are there of you and whatever difficulty you are facing, right? See, for many students, the subjects which they will not understand may be different, right? Few people will don't understand applied science only, right? For them it becomes very difficult. Few people chemistry becomes difficult. Few people even the EVS becomes difficult, right? For few the engineering drawing will become difficult. So for everybody the subject may be different, but the idea is if difficulty is there, definitely we are there and we can always help you, right? So you can always approach us. Anyway, so that's up to you. I mean, see, if you are facing the problem, then you must tell, right? Otherwise, from our side, if we'll try to find out, then we are having few data points, like maybe the score of your IT and all, and then based on that we would be able to find out, right? Okay, so now let's see this particular program, how we can write, and then we can stop. So till here, okay, we don't require some average. I'll just remove this. I want n elements. Don't need this average. Enter elements. I'm storing over here. I'll not do sum. This line I will remove. Average. Array elements are, that's okay. Here I will write my searching. There are lots of different algorithms for searching also, but I'll be teaching only one, and in the ahead, I mean in the next year, right, you'll be learning all the different algorithm of searching and sorting and all, right? Lots of algorithms are there in the data structure subject. Definitely you'll be learning, but here in the first year we restrict. I mean, you must know the concept, that's important, and by any one method you should be able to do it. So what I'll do, I'll apply my loop for I equal to 0 till where, till I is less than n, I plus plus. Here what I'll do, I'll say if, because I need to pick one element from the bag, so one element from the array I'll pick, that is a of I, let's say. First time I will be 0, so it will pick 0th element, okay. A of I is equal to what, x. X we have not taken, so let's take this x, right? Let's declare this x first. And after taking all these array elements and storing, we can display over here printf enter x, and we can take this scanf %d ampersand x. So we have taken this x element, which we will going to search inside the array. Okay, so here I'll pick one element from the array and I'll check if a of I is equal to x. The moment I'll get this, I must say what? Printf element found at, that means we will display the location, let's say I plus 1 location, right? Or we can display in this way, element found at location %d, right? I plus 1, why? Because I explained you that if you want you can display the index number, but in the question it asks location, so location will be I plus 1. And here we will break it, because the moment we got, we are not bothered about other elements, right? And the repetition of this particular element, we are just concentrating on the first occurrence. The moment we will get this particular element and we will come to know that this element is present inside the array, we will immediately break the loop, okay, by displaying that element found at that particular location. But if in the case when the element is not there inside the array, then this loop will move till the end, from 0 to till the end. That is, it will go where this loop will terminate by itself when I value will become n, right? Because till n minus 1 valid index numbers are there, right? But when it will become n, then n will not be less than n, and this condition will become false, right? So when I will become n, that means the element is not present inside the array, because it never went in this particular block. If it will go in this particular block, that means it has got the element, it will break before the default break of this particular array. So here we can check if I has reached up to n, that means element was not there. So we can display printf right? Element not found. Element not found. I hope this is clear to all of you. Let's check this output. Why this bracket is there? Okay. Yeah. Let's run this. So enter 5 elements. 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. Let's enter x3. Not 3, let's enter 4. So array elements are 3, 2, 1, 4, right? 5. An element found at location 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 location. And index number, this is index number is what? This is 0th index number 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Index number 3, location number is what? 4. Okay. Then let's run where the case will be element is not there. Let's say so 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I entered very fast, I think, this one. Enter elements 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's enter 6. Okay. So array elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is not there, so it's telling me element not found. Yeah. So I hope this particular program is clear to all of you, and definitely I will share. I will upload the video also, so you can later you can just check the recording and you can also practice, right? If you're not understood it properly, and even though if there will be problem, then you can ask me tomorrow. Okay. Is there any doubt? Otherwise, we can have the attendance right now. Jyotirmay?